Welcome everyone, this is Hypnoser, and this is the seventh vlog of our philosophical series. And today we're going to get historical quite a lot, notably because we're going to talk about crises in multiple traditional institutions which in the past used to provide faith and stability to the people. Let's start with the example of the Christian Church. At first it seemed united, but this was short-lasted because already 300 years after its creation, notably year 325, started first tensions when the Arians struggled to accept the dogma of Holy Trinity and have seen flaws in the concept. Then when this problem was resolved with rather violent measures and consumed many lives, there started another problem, which was the division of Roman Empire, which in turn led to the Eastern Schism. What also started to be the problem is the competition between the Pope and the Emperor, which has for power, which has ignited the relations and escalated the tensions again. After that we have 95 Theses in 1517, we had the creation of Anglican Church in 1534, and the start of Calvinist Church approximately 2 years later, but a similar time. And after that, in 19th century there was another separation of Pentecostal churches and Old Catholic churches, and in the early 20th century there was also creation of Polish Catholic Church, which were re-immigrants from America. So that is the crisis in the Catholic Church, and not only Catholic Church, or should I say Christian Church in general. Next, what happened was the collapse of European empires. We already talked a bit about the Roman Empire. The continuation of Roman Empire was the Byzantium, and when the Byzantium have collapsed, there was the Roman Empire of the German nation, or something like this. And officially the last emperor of that empire was in the 19th century. However, some might argue that Germany between 1870 and World War II tried to create the emperor once more, although this is debatable. Another collapse of European empires, pretty significant, happened when there was a creation of United States of America, which happened with large French money at play by the King Louis XVI. There was Boston Tea Party in 1773, in 1789 there was a constitution declared, and about 70 years later there was a civil war which ended up with victory of the Union, however with Lincoln assassination. We need to also keep in mind that even though there was war, US managed to stay independent, even though it participated in World War I and World War II. But independence from the British Crown didn't change the fact they were very largely dependent on European money, as we've seen with the King Louis XVI. Okay, so that was another sort of example why the traditional institutions tend to have difficulties with fulfilling their role. We also have other examples of the collapse of empire, like in our region, like Ottoman Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire, and of course Yugoslavia and Soviet Union. And collapsing power has left a lot of vacuum, which fueled conflicts in the regions. Okay, but not all collapses end with complete independence and full-scale war. Some regions accept the monarchy, but aim for larger autonomy within the monarchy, like for example Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Now, let's say why crisis in traditional institutions will deepen or can deepen. First of all is lack of leaders in the youngest generations, which result in a large crisis. As we see, our leaders are pretty old right now. American president was like 80 something years old, and right now it's 78. And speaking of the president, we have sort of seen the attempt of trying to monopolize power. Whether it will be effective remains to be seen, although there is large skepticism about that. I'm talking about Canada, Greenland, and Panama events recently happening. Also, we've seen lacking leadership in the Democratic Party and a crisis in here. First of all, we had one Trump term. After that, we had the Joe Biden term, which started with huge difficulties because of the January 6th situation. So, why do I say all this? It's because we need to address the crisis in the traditional institution, and we need to provide either a more efficient institution or improve the existing institution. Now, I don't have that much knowledge to say which solution is more probable and which solution will eventually win. It's slightly too early for that, but there are large challenges in front of us, and as we see in this pretty long historical lesson, we need to prepare for the crisis and try to build a new institution hopefully more resistant than the previous one. Speaking of building a new institution, this reminds me of the nihilist sort of teachings when they said that you're supposed to create your own meaning. Now, don't get me wrong, this can solve the problem. However, this is a very costly method because, as we've discussed in our philosophical series, world creation demands advanced tools. Okay, and with that in mind, I'd like to end today historical vlog on our philosophical channel. Thanks everyone for watching.